Hello, I'm Hannah, 49-year-old mother who divorced and remarried. I have a daughter who's 25. There has been a significant amount of turmoil in my life, and I completely blame myself. Well, I have a crazy ass story worth writing for, but to have a better understanding, you must know a little bit about my past. So, I always had a rough patch with my husband and children. We had lost interest in our lives. We were dating not for long when I got pregnant, and then we had to kind of get married. Liz was only 7 when she witnessed the first proper fight between us. Vicky, though he possessed a good heart, struggled with being a neglectful father. He often prioritized his work and personal interests over spending time with our child. I, on the other hand, became an overprotective mother, constantly worrying about my child's safety and well-being. Our differing approaches caused tension to grow between us, and it seemed like we were slowly drifting apart. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, our struggles intensified. We would have heated arguments about our parenting styles, each of us stubbornly holding on to our own beliefs. Vicky believed that giving Liz more independence would allow them to grow and learn on their own, while I feared that her safety might be compromised if I let go of the reins. The strain of our disagreements extended beyond parenting, infiltrating other aspects of our relationship. We became distant, spending more time apart than together. Our once frequent laughter and shared adventures were replaced with silence and strained conversations. I even tried to talk it out with Vicky. Vicky, we can't keep going on like this. Our marriage is falling apart, and it's breaking my heart. I want to fix things, but it feels like you're intentionally pushing me away. Hannah, I just don't have the energy for this right now. Can't we talk about it later? I've had a long day. Later? It's always later with you, Vicky. We've been pushing our problems aside for far too long. We need to address them and face them head on, or else our marriage won't survive. I'm not being negligent, Hannah. I'm just trying to cope with everything that's going on in my life. I can't be expected to fix everything at once. I understand that life gets overwhelming, Vicky, but we're a team. We promise to support each other through thick and thin. Lately, it feels like I'm the only one fighting for us. Vicky stops pacing and sits down opposite me, his expression guarded. Look, Hannah, I never wanted things to turn out this way, but I feel suffocated, trapped. I need some space to figure things out on my own. Space? Vicky, we're already drifting apart. How much more space do you need? We should be finding ways to bring us closer, not push each other away. I don't know what you want from me, Hannah. I'm doing the best I can under the circumstances. Can't you see that? I just want you to fight for us. I want you to show me that our love still matters to you. It's not just about the circumstances. It's about our commitment to each other. It would slowly extend and exaggerate to an actual fight. It was becoming a habit to the point I could even detect a pattern. Our daughter Liz was going through a difficult phase in her life. She had grown tired and indifferent towards our constant fighting. Liz was a thoughtful and introspective young girl, wise beyond her years. At least that was the impression that I got from her initially. While she understood that conflicts were a part of life, she found herself exhausted by the ongoing battles that we were having. As the arguments escalated, Liz's spirit seemed to dim. She carried the weight of our disagreements on her small shoulders, feeling the emotional strain that it placed on her family. Her once vibrant personality turned subdued, and her enthusiasm for life began to wane. She would give monosyllabic replies and sometimes not even eat dinner with us. After a few years, Vicky and I separated. Liz was just 15. I felt so terrible. She had to deal with our mess through her important phase. She would often avoid facing me, sometimes even skipping school. I used to work 2 different jobs at the time, ever since my child was born, to support our finances. I had to go very early and then come home really late. After Vicky left, things became much worse. Hey, Liz, how was your day? It was fine. Liz, can we talk? I feel like we haven't had a conversation in a while. I don't feel like talking, Mom. I understand that you might not be in the mood, but communication is important, especially after everything that's happened. We can't just stay silent forever. I know, Mom. It's just hard for me, okay? Talking feels awkward. I get it, Liz. It's been tough since your dad and I got divorced, and we all have different ways of dealing with it. But we're a family, and we need to support each other. We can't let silence drive us apart. I know I've been distant lately, but it's not because I don't care. It's just everything feels different now Dad is not here. I miss him. Change can be scary, especially when it's something as significant as a divorce. But remember, Liz, we're still a family, even if it looks a little different now. We can create new traditions, new memories, and talking is an essential part of that. I guess I just don't know what to say or how to start. We don't have to force a conversation, but we can start small. Tell me one thing about your day, no matter how trivial it may seem. Well, I made a new friend at school today. Her name's Emily. That's great, Liz. Tell me more about Emily. What do you like about her? She's really funny, and we both like drawing. We exchanged sketchbooks, and it was cool to see her artwork. That sounds wonderful, dear. It's fantastic that you found someone who shares your interests. It's quite hard to get anyone like that. Maybe you could invite Emily over sometime and we can all have an art session together, over a cup of tea and all. Yeah, that could be fun, I guess. Our conversations were always short and simple. Sometimes she would want to share something, sometimes she wouldn't. She always wanted to get into small conversations about her dad. I felt like she was in desperate need of a father. She always preferred her father more than me. Vicky took her fishing, picnics, and long drives. They had a good father-daughter bonding. I was the one who was rigid and skeptical about things. I didn't want to join them since Vicky never really talked to me. He interacted with our daughter, asked her how she is and all, but then that's it. She sometimes wants to meet him, but I don't allow it. I was always scared that Vicky would take my daughter away from me. I understand I was not able to properly give her constant support, but it is just because I wanted her to go to her dream college. Her dream college was Ivy League. She always wanted to get into that college ever since she saw her aunt's elder daughter and brothers trying for the college. The only drawback was it costs a lot of money, and I wouldn't be able to afford it if I don't get my head deep in work. One summer, she went with her dad to the lake for camping. I was alone, and that is the time I met Jonathan. He was a car mechanic. One sunny afternoon, as I was strolling through town, I noticed a small auto repair shop nestled in a corner. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to step inside. That's when I first laid eyes on Jonathan, a charming, ruggedly handsome car mechanic with a mischievous smile that instantly caught my attention. Jonathan greeted me warmly and we struck up a conversation. He was passionate about his work and spoke with such enthusiasm that it was contagious. As he explained the intricacies of fixing engines and the beauty of turning a simple car into a well-oiled machine, I couldn't help but be captivated by his knowledge and dedication. I was so awed by his charm that I wanted to visit him again. I intentionally got my car to act funny so that I could ask him for help. Hey there, can I help you with something? I gave Jonathan a quick once-over, my eyes lingering on his rugged charm. I hope so. I've been having some trouble with my car, and I know you're the best mechanic in town. Well, they aren't wrong. I'll do my best to live up to the reputation. So what seems to be the problem? It's making this weird noise when I start it. I don't know much about cars, but it doesn't sound right. Ah, the mysterious noise. Don't worry, Hannah. I've got a keen ear for those. We'll figure it out together. Please, make yourself at home. Thank you, Jonathan. It's been a tough week, and I'm glad I found someone like you who knows what they're doing. I understand what it's like to go through tough times. Life has a way of throwing unexpected curveballs at us, right? Really? Do you mind sharing? Jonathan leans against a workbench, thoughtful for a moment before responding. Well, I went through a difficult divorce a few years ago. It was a challenging time, but it also taught me a lot about resilience and finding joy in the little things, like fixing cars. I can relate. Divorce is never easy, but it's a journey that makes us stronger. And I guess in a way, we're both on the path to rebuilding ourselves. We bonded pretty well. I called him for dinner and sometimes went out to take a stroll around the park. When Liz came back, she seemed pretty content. She was very happy, must have had a good time with Dad. When we sat to eat together, she broke the news that Dad got married and is very happy. The stepmother is nice and polite, and she took great care of my dad. I wasn't really unhappy. I was just sad that he gave so much effort into finding another person within a few months of our divorce, but couldn't even make amends to make the current one better. I will never get married. It's not my thing. Then why did you get married to me? It's not like I forced you into it. I gave you a choice. You very well know why. If you weren't pregnant, was that my fault? Is that under my control, Vicky? You were the one who was reckless and stupid. Fine. I have ruined your life. Then why the hell are we still talking, huh? We should split up. You go your way and I go mine. I want you to take some responsibility, Vicky. I understand that this life was our mistake, but we have a child now. Why would you try to run away like this? I mean, how could you even think about it? Liz will be fine with you. The conversation always echoed in my head. As Liz grew up and was preparing for college, I, on the other hand, became a drained old woman. Jonathan would meet me in secret from time to time, but I was too scared to confess this to Liz. What if she reacts badly to this? It began gradually, with Liz and I including Jonathan in our mother-daughter outings. At first, I feared that Liz might feel overshadowed or neglected, but instead, she welcomed his presence with open arms. He took the time to understand Liz's interests and hobbies, supporting her in her endeavors with unwavering dedication. Whether it was attending her birthday or teaching her how to ride a motorbike, Jonathan always made Liz feel seen, heard, and loved. But as the days turned into months, Liz began confiding in her stepmother, seeking solace and guidance. They would spend hours engrossed in conversation, sharing stories, dreams, and even their worries. Their connection was built on a foundation of trust and understanding, a relationship that blossomed naturally and beautifully. It wasn't long before I realized that Liz preferred the company of her stepmother over me. At first, it stung, and I couldn't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. But as a mother, my ultimate goal was to see my daughter happy, and it warmed my heart to witness the genuine love and affection between them. Are you going to Vicky's? Yeah, after class. Why? Class is going well? Made new friends? Yeah, Mom, it is. Bye. Do you want Jonathan to drop you? No, it's cool. Dad would drop me. He's waiting outside. Hey, bye. It was not like Liz didn't like Jonathan. She was rather conflicted with her life. Her stepmom was probably a nice character. I wouldn't know. I have never seen her. The shock came on me when ultimately she decided to move in with Vicky and his wife. I wanted to stop her, but I couldn't do it. I know many will think she was being ungrateful because I was the one paying her bills for college. My body broke, my shoulders heavy with burden. I felt like I lost my flair for living because I was so hooked on working hard for her. I had to leave one job and even emailed Vicky that I can't go on like this. If he can contribute to her, that would be good. I have done my part of the bargain. Jonathan spoke of his son a lot. He said that he left after knowing that his mother left him when he was an infant. He probably has never seen his mother's face. Jonathan had burnt all her pictures and thought that his son would come to terms with it. But he was misunderstood, and then his son left. Jonathan, is everything okay? You seem a bit off today. Jonathan looks up, his eyes reflecting a mix of sadness and frustration. It's my son, Ethan. He left home last week and I can't help but feel like I've been played for a fool. What happened? Did something go wrong between you two? Jonathan sets down his tools and leans against the workbench, collecting his thoughts. We had always been so close, but lately he's been asking a lot of time about his mother, my ex-wife. She was very childish and loved being pampered. She loved me a lot, as she said, but when she got pregnant, she started suffering from postpartum depression and then became worse. One day, she suddenly left me without a word. Later on, I found out she had settled somewhere else. Ethan was just an infant. I took all his responsibilities myself. Has Ethan given you any reason to believe that he was manipulated? Jonathan's frustration started to seep into his voice. He's been acting differently, echoing his mother's words, questioning my decisions. Kept saying that I'm forcing him to not see his mother, and I am the villain in this relationship. I feel like I've lost my son. I reached out and gently placed a hand on Jonathan's arm, offering comfort. We stood by each other. We were each other's mental and emotional support. I have received a letter from Vicky saying that I should continue paying a bit since he doesn't have his earnings strong. I said yes for the time being, but I don't have the energy to continue 2 jobs like that. A few years later, when I received a call from Liz, she announced to me that she was going to get married. She met this very handsome boy in college who was her senior, and they have been dating ever since. Only recently they decided to tie the knot. I was already hurt about the fact that Liz had completely disregarded me from her life, and now she suddenly informs me that she would be getting married. She said that I was not invited because her stepmother didn't want me to. Vicky might be hurt seeing me so. Jonathan was invited. I was speechless as ever. I was beyond hurt. I was numb. I'm sorry, Mom. This was her part of the decision, and I would visit you with Ethan soon enough. Wait, did you say Ethan? Yes, my fiancé. His name is Ethan. Sorry, I forgot to mention that before. Wait, Liz. This Ethan person, are his parents going to be there? Why do you care? Just tell me. Well, no, Ethan's parents are divorced. He doesn't acknowledge his dad, and that he is still looking for his mother. I mean, he has never seen his mother, and a lot of other things, but why are you asking me all of this? I became quiet with shock. If this was Ethan, Liz was making a mistake. I mean, it would be a funny scene, to be honest. I just kept quiet about it. I wanted to see how it ended up. Jonathan said he would go and pay a visit, but not talk to anyone else but Liz. I was stoked by the fact that my ex-husband's current wife is my current husband's ex-wife. Damn, that's some crazy mix-up. So technically, Liz and Ethan would be step-siblings. This would be a nightmare, and for some reason, I couldn't contain my laughter. When the epic day arrived, I was in my room reading an article when I get a call from Liz again. She was crying profusely. Before the ceremony was about to begin, Jonathan awkwardly interrupted Liz to give his regards to her, but then Mindy recognized him and squealed before fainting into Vicky's arms. Ethan was extremely furious about the whole scenario, and he confronted Mindy about everything later when she gained consciousness. Then Mindy and Jonathan had a ridiculous fight in front of all the guests, and when Vicky tried to intervene, Jonathan packed a few punches on him. The cops came quickly because one of the guests thought that things went out of hand. Mindy kept hysterically shouting at Vicky about me, slurring names of the devil at me. Overall, the wedding became a total mess. Ethan was extremely disgusted that we hid the secret from them, but it was me who could have mentioned it once Liz called. Did you know about this? I suspected so. And you didn't bother mentioning me? You have already taken the helm of your life long back. Why do you care what I would have to say? I hardly doubt you would have believed me in the first place. Mom, look, I'm sorry, okay? I was an idiot. I should have stayed with you, and I was planning to. You are not invited here anymore, Liz. Jonathan and I would be moving to Texas soon. I would rather suggest that you and your father deal with things from now onwards. But Mom, Dad went all bankrupt with all the preparations of the wedding turned into a disaster. There are still certain things left to be paid. We can't do this without you. Mom, please. I said I'm sorry. I'll try my best to repay you, I swear. I have made my decision, Liz. But what about all these years I paid for the bills and your dad didn't contribute a single thing? You got to a college because of me, and this was how you repaid me? You moved in with the person who cared less about you in the first place. He was doing all of these for you out of spite towards me. Do you get that, Liz? I'm sorry for being the mother you never deserved. Mom, please, hear me out. I cut the call. I wasn't going to spend a single second with an ungrateful human being. She was Vicky's daughter, not mine anymore. I bailed Jonathan out from the cops, where I also met Vicky and the rest. Ethan was still in shock most of the time. Liz and Vicky kept insisting that I stay and contribute so that they could pay off the extra cash. I blocked all the words thrown at me. They never really gave a damn about me. I deserve all the money that I wasted on my daughter. Now, what they do with their lives was none of my business anymore. Jonathan and I wanted to be happy in life. That's what we aimed for. Texas became our permanent home and happiness. Amidst the chaos and confusion, we found strength in our love and resilience as a family. We knew that we had a choice to make, to let this revelation tear us apart or to confront it head on and find a way to move forward together.